Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever Bacon Ninja live stream thingy. You can thank my patrons for hitting the watermark for this one. I hope everybody can hear me. Let me know if there are any problems with the stream. This is all new software, and although I have done streams in the past for other things, it has been many, many years since that has happened. So I see the chat's already going. Hey everybody. Hey everybody out there in the chat. I see Apaches out here, Vampire, Carbon Cage, 8-Bit, Anthony Z. I know you, Anthony Z. Whole bunch of people out there already chatting. Hey, Thomas Moore, how are you? Free Range Chicken, Nick Grolio. I can't ever pronounce your name, Nick. You're going to have to phonetically type that out for me because I butcher it every time. We got AK Saggy Balls up in this joint. Yeah, all kinds of people up in the chat already. FPV Girls in here. Thank you guys very much for making this first stream not super lonely. I was kind of concerned that it would be. So, all right. So, yeah, I don't have a whole lot planned. I'm just going to answer all your questions. We're going to hang out and chat. And, yeah, I'm going to keep up with the chat. Now, I don't have a whole lot of features for this stream because it is the first one. So I can't highlight any chats or anything like that. But I will try my best to keep up with everything. Yeah, what's up from New York? I wonder what the weather's like in New York right now. Here in Lubbock, Flatland, Texas, the wind is like 50 miles an hour, and it's 70 degrees. So, yeah, it's not good flying weather for the wind anyway. The sky is brown, and nobody wants to see that on camera. So, sound is fine, no glitching. Awesome. Glitching, but recording is good, 8-Bit says, or but sounding good. Yeah, I don't know. Everything looks good on this end. I'm going to double check it, but everything looks okay so far. Yeah. 35 of us weirdos here. Yes, we are all weirdos here in FPV. That is for sure. Gonza FPV. How long have I been flying drones? About 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in July. 2 years in July, I will have been flying. It feels like I have been doing this for like 3 months. I don't think that time slows down when you're flying drones. Hey, a $20 super jet. Thank you very much for Stovall FPV. Congratulations on your first stream. I appreciate it, man. You, I believe, were part of the problem that made this happen. So you're one of the reasons I'm here. Yeah, James, 32 degrees in New York and 2 inches of snow. Are you flying in the snow, though? Do you conformal coat? That's the real question. I don't conformal coat anything, so I am not flying when it snows. Definitely never flying when it snows. I'm too afraid to burn up a quad to do it. Hey, Murders, what's up? Thanks for making it to the stream, man. Free Range Chicken with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Free Range Chicken. I appreciate you. You are, again, part of the problem, but you've been part of the problem for a long time, so you knew what you were doing. You knew you were part of this. Oh, yep. Houston. I heard it's hot down there. They said it was 90 degrees in Austin, Texas today, which for February is really terrifying me for what it's going to look like in the summer. Yeah, I'm not cool with the 100-degree weather we get here, and I miss New Mexico where I used to live, and it would get to like 70, and that was the hottest, but it snowed like crazy there too. So, yeah, 3 feet of snow, man. I can't believe that. Flying whoops in this cold weather. That reminds me, I'm going to pull this thing out because I've been wanting to show it off. Like, I haven't got to fly it and record it yet, but some of you guys have seen it on you've seen it on my channel. This is the little snowflake, the snowflake frame that Z Monster actually, he cut this carbon frame for me. He designed it and cut it and sent me one. He's actually sending me another one that I should have on Friday, but this thing is pretty sweet. It is terribly tuned though. This has the Beta FPV AIO in it, and I don't know if I like it. A bunch of people have asked me questions about that AIO, and it feels like the gyro implementation is super noisy. I think I'm going to have to add a cap to it. I'm going to add a small cap to it and see if it doesn't make it better, but I have not been super happy with the flight characteristics of this AIO. And I know it's not the frame because it's a 2mm frame. I know it's not a bunch of feedback in the frame. So, yeah. Roasting hot where Carbon Cage is. Yeah. Bitterroot, you are a little late, but that's okay because we don't have any time schedules here, man. It's all free form. We're just going to flow with it and let the grease happen. That's what we're doing here. Hello, greasers. Yeah. Needs ELRS. It has ELRS. It has ELRS, Stovall. This is the ELRS AIO. It has actually the full UART ELRS, which is one of the reasons why I picked this board. because I am tired of SPI based ELRS. So I picked this board so I can actually flash it like a regular receiver. But this thing is, I don't know. It looks really sweet, and I had high hopes for it. It's definitely not the frame's fault, but I think I might find putting another AIO in here, or hopefully some capacitance helps it. Hopefully it does. So yeah, the Quadmula Split 5, man. That's iFly FPV. That is a good frame. You know, Murders flew that for a long time, and he was always telling me, he's like, "That's a really good frame, man. You should try it out." Every time I saw him fly one on his videos, and a couple times we chatted on Facebook, he's like, "Yeah, it's a good frame. You should really check it out." And then suddenly Quadmula reached out to me, and I'm sure he had something to do with that. A sneaky little sneak. But now I have one of the 5 inches and one of the 3 inches and like 4 more in a box. And I've got to build all those. But I do really like it. And the F3 split is awesome. You know, if I had to pick just one quad on the wall that I could keep forever, it would be that F3 split with the DJI O3 in it. It is just the best all-around quad that I had to fly. The 4K recording on board and the 2004 motors, it flies just so well. The flight time's a little low, but because I fly like an idiot, that's what happens when I fly. But if I had to pick one, that would be it for sure. Benadryl FPV. Are you sleepy, Benadryl FPV? Because Benadryl makes me sleepy. The Diamond F4 is a really good AIO, and that's on my list of considerations. If I can't get this thing worked out, the Diamond F4. I have killed the only board I have ever killed is a Happy Model board. I think I want to say it's the X12. Is whatever the 12 amp AIO is. That's the only board I have ever killed in a quad to this day. So I don't know. It's a Happy Model, the Diamond F4, but I would try it out for this. 662 Sippy. What's the shipping like from Quadmula to USA? Murders, if you want to give an opinion on that, Murders. So when I got my review units, they're review units. And I got them really fast, like within a week, but they didn't come from China. They came from like Illinois or something. I don't know if like Murders had them in his closet and shipped them to me or something, or whatever they got going on. But it was super fast. But what I hear is that it's actually a little bit behind, and it is coming out of China right now. And that's just the way it happens. I mean, Chinese New Year kind of put everybody back a little bit, but people are getting them. They're starting to get them. I think it's been a couple of weeks, though. So I don't know if Murders might know a little more than that. He's actually a really cool sponsored pilot from them. So he might know a little more than I do on that side. Stovall, got a few bucks on the backboard. Got a few builds on the backboard. My favorite build up there, I said bucks. I don't know. I was thinking of super chats, man. The super chats got me mixed up. I've never gotten a super chat before in my life. Let's see. Favorite build back there. Oh, man, it's so hard. It would still be the F3, man. The F3 split, my favorite build. It's also one of the hardest builds that I've ever done because it is so cramped with the O3 unit in there. But I had to do it because Murders did it, and because if Murders does it, I have to do it because he's a better pilot than me, and all I have is being able to build quads. So I had to build it like Murders. I was originally going to put a Vista in it, or a Link, and I did put a Link in it, and I decided that was not where I wanted it to be, so we got an O3 system, but that is my favorite build. It's the best all-around quad I have right now. It is super awesome. What stack or AIO am I running in my O3 3-inch? I am running and that is 3D Create. I am running the Skystars. I have a cold, by the way. Sorry, you're going to hear coughing. I can't help it. I'm running the Skystars F722 HD stack with the K55A, I believe it is. Let me look up. Let me go to Pyrodrone because that's my favorite FPV store. Even though 662 Sippy doesn't like Pyrodrone because he got burned once, but I like Pyrodrone still. Look at the Skystars stack real quick. Make sure it's the right ESC because I really like the ESC, and that's kind of why I picked it, to be honest with you. I picked it specifically for this. Here's the stack I'm running in this. It's $99, right? So it's a 20 by 20 F7 HD with a good BEC on it, plenty of UARTs, and a 55 amp 32 BLheli32 ESC. So that's why I picked that, because I run 6S on the 3-inch. I really, really, really like that AIO. So anyway, yep, that's my pick for that one. Murder says it averages around 7 business days for shipping from Quadmula. And I think that is true in most cases. I think they're probably a little behind from Chinese New Year still. So hopefully they'll catch up soon. I have not experienced slow shipping from them, but again, review units, I can't tell if that's like everybody's experience or not. So 662 Sippy, your son finally got his drone back from Pyro Drone. Great. Hopefully, I guess you didn't have problems with it the second time. Is he flying it yet? Is he enjoying it? That was his Christmas present, right? That's an awesome Christmas present, dude. Bitter Root. I have that stack. Bought it from Get FPV. Yep, that stack is awesome. In fact, it's out of stock. If you didn't notice on Pyro Drone, that stack goes out of stock literally all the time. But I have another thing back here that I'm going to pull out of a box. Ooh, I got a lipo with it. I don't want a lipo. I just want the things. Which one is it? Which one is it I'm looking for? It's this. Murders will know what this is. This is the Quadmula Siren F5 Split Mini, which is the same thing as the F5. So I have the F5 frame too. This is the regular F5 frame. Oops, sorry, I tapped my mic. That's the regular F5 frame, and this is the Mini. And I don't know if you could tell, but the arms are a little bit thinner. And on the regular F5 frame, it's got a 30x30 stack. So I run the SpeedyBee in it. But I'm actually gonna run that same 20x20 Skystars stack in this mini frame. And I think I might get an AM32 ESC for it though. Try AM32 a little bit. Skystars has one if I can ever find it in stock. That's definitely what I'm going to go for. So yeah, Stovall, here's hoping I get my son's HDZeros soon, dude. Dude, HDZeros, those goggles. I have those two back there. They're not mine. I still have Ryan Quellet's test set because I can't afford my own pair of goggles. But yeah, everybody is in the same boat with you, buddy. They are all waiting for those HDZero goggles to show up at their door. Those things are like, I think I saw somebody already scalping them too on eBay, and the prices were ridiculous. And I hope that doesn't continue because I hate to think that people got in line for the order, got their order just to scalp it when people are sitting around waiting for them. Glenn GH. Yep. Oh, you were late to the party. Were you late to the party earlier? Did I already say you're not late to the party? You're fine. There is no late to this party. This party just keeps on going. You get to listen to my stuffed up, cold, nasally voice because I've been sick since like last Thursday. So, yeah, Quadmula is definitely working on getting some U.S. distributors. Murder says that would be great. Yeah, I think their popularity went from like 0 to 100 near immediately. They're doing something right. I can only say that the designs are pretty like interesting. The things they're doing. If you haven't seen my video on it or one of Murders' videos on it, the way the stack works and the way the arm interlock works is kind of unique. It's very unique. So I think a lot of people are interested in it because it's just not what you see in other places. And yeah, they kind of went from 0 to 100 super fast, but I'm happy to see it because they really are a good company. I talk to them on Instagram a lot, and I can't say that other companies are as friendly and responsive and helpful as Quadmula has been from this end of things, and from what I've seen on their customer support too. It's pretty good. 3D Create. I've wondered, is AM32 better than BL32? So better is a relative term. No, it's not better, but if you haven't checked it out, I'd highly recommend some of Chris Rosser's ESC testing videos where he tests the AM32 ESCs against BLheli32 ESCs. And I don't have the graphs in front of me, but I'll try to kind of explain what they look like. So there is a torque curve or like a power application curve that all ESCs use. And it's different between the different varieties of ESC. And the BLheli32 ESC has this really big like stair step in the torque or power output curve and the duty cycle curve, where AM32 is very linear. So I would say that I haven't experienced it, but that's why I want to try it. AM32 is likely much more of a linear experience, a lot less of a power suddenly on application after a delay. And I think that'll be really good on quads. We just don't see a whole lot of AM32 boards out there. I think Skystars definitely makes one. There may be like one other manufacturer doing AM32, which I don't know why they aren't doing more because they have to pay for the BLheli32 license, and AM32 is open source and free. So AM32 actually would cost them less if they would build ESCs for it. I think if we can get more people flying it and get it to be a little bit more of a market share, we'll probably see a lot more of them come out. Bitterroot FPV. I think I can buy a set of HDZeros this week. Oh man. Yeah, get in on the order while you can, dude. There's right now, I think like the people who bought in January are looking at next month for their ship dates, and the people that buy this month are probably out to, what would it be, April or May. So get it while you can. Oh man, I'm so sorry. My throat is tickling so bad. My voice is nearly gone from having to talk at work all day. I'm forced to speak all day long. James Hood, thank you very much. $20 super chat. I appreciate you, man. I really do. Thank you so much. Your support is amazing. I still can't, I honestly, like, people think that I make it up. I cannot believe that people support this content in this channel. I literally just sit down like I'm doing right now in front of a camera and say stupid things while I have fun talking about things I was going to ramble to my family about anyway, and they don't even know what I'm saying. And people just like it. And I will never understand it, but I really appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you again, James, for that. Yeah, I better root that Skystars AM32. Always out of stock. Always. Glenn GH, I've been enjoying the SpeedyBee stacks lately. Yeah, I really like the SpeedyBee stacks. I really do. If you can't tell, because I put them in literally everything I build. What I like to do personally is find things that I like and then just run those things. I like to try new things, but I don't like commit to them until I've really vetted them. And the SpeedyBee stacks, I've just been running so long. I really, really like them. I have seen a few people blow some FETs lately, though, which has been concerning. And again, if you ask 662 Sippy, yeah, his experience with a SpeedyBee stack and a little bit of a fire, then getting a new ESC and having some problems and stuff was kind of scary for me, being that, you know, I'm so into the SpeedyBee stuff and I hadn't experienced that. But I have seen a couple of people lately have some ESC fires. Now, I think they're completely because of the build or because of a crash or something. And in 662 Sippy's case, I don't know. Actually, I looked at that thing. I don't know what caused it, but yeah, it does happen. But they've been really good to me, those SpeedyBee stacks. Hey, John Cuppy, great to see me live. You know, dude, I was going to tell you the other day when I was on the live stream, congratulations on getting engaged. I will say that she could do better. No, I'm just kidding, man. Congratulations, seriously. You guys look great together. I really hope you're the best. I really, really do. Free range chicken. My order is in the mid 1300s, and they told me beginning of April ship date. Ooh, I don't know what they're up to. They have sold a ton of those things. They really have. Probably the best purchase someone could make in early 2023. Bot Grinder, thank you so much. Raw Bacon, nice. $10 super chat from Bot Grinder. Bot Grinder, I think, is converted to HDZero. Is that right, Bot Grinder? You're all on now, man. You got the HDZero goggles. I think it's finally sold you, dude. You said you'd never go digital. Now look at you. Now look at you going digital. No, if you're gonna go from analog to digital and keep the analog feel, HDZero is the way, especially with the goggles. Tommy BFPV, hey everyone, how are you? How are you, Tommy? I hope you're doing really well tonight. Yeah, let's see. 3D Create, he checked the Skystars site, 55 amp 20x20 AM32, $60 in stock. I wonder if the stock is accurate, though. Some of those sites overseas, the stock isn't super accurate. Like, it'll say it's in stock, but it won't be, and then they'll just delay shipping and pretend like it took an extra 3 weeks. I don't know. I wrote Skystars once to try to get them to work with me on a video, and I never heard back. So I can't tell you how they operate. But it could totally be the case that it is in stock, and if it is, that'd be great too. Because I really want to see them. I really want to see them get in stock here in the U.S. so I can order one. I really want to try it out. Gardo Rotor, funny seeing live bacon. Yes. Normally when you see live bacon, it's in a pan, and I'm not in a pan. And I'm also not being cooked, but I am just as greasy. Mostly because, you know, it's after work. I spend all day in work clothes. Carbon Cage, my rush stack shot a 6-inch flame out the side. day after or day after flying fireworks. Maybe iron particles. Totally could have been iron particles, man. The fireworks, all that colored stuff that they do is just different metals burning. So it's absolutely possible that you got a piece of stuff in there, dude. That would be totally like a 1 in a million shot. But if you could prove that was the case, that would be awesome. Yeah, Bot says he is converted. He has been converted. Bot has come over to the dark side, but it's not the darkest of dark sides. It's not like you're running DJI Bot, like I've been running. I'm the darkest of dark sides right now. I've been running a lot of DJI and Walksnail lately. I feel bad. I ran HDZero on everything for so long, and then I started playing with DJI and Walksnail, and in all my testing of it, I've been flying it more. So I really need to get back to my HDZero roots, dude. I miss those goggles already. All right. Let's see here. Blizzard FPV, $5 Canadian super chat. Thank you very much, Blizzard. I just got 2 free drones from a guy today at work. 1 wood frame and 1 wood frame tricopter. Love this hobby. Dude, a wood frame. I have been interested in building one. I hinted at it a little bit in a video a while back. I have 3 pizza boxes, like way back where you can't see them, that I've been saving for the past 4 months. They've just been over there, like holding all the grease from the pizzas my family ordered. And I am going to build a quad out of one of them, and it's going to be a wood frame quad. So I've never built a wood frame quad. I hear, there's always people, because I'm so new to the hobby, there's always people that tell me I was around. I'm going to do it in my old man voice. I was around whenever we had to walk uphill with our wooden drones. Yeah, that kind of thing. There's always people that tell me that. And I'm like, I want to build a wood frame drone just to experience what that was like. I mean, it's new electronics. I don't think I could find all the old stuff, like a RCHackers board or something. But it would be really interesting to fly something old school. Very much. FPV might try a SpeedyBee stack because the new gyro on the FetTech ESCs are hot garbage. You talking about the flight controllers, the FetTech flight controllers? I have heard some things. Who is that I saw? It was Slat. I saw a comment from Slat, who I greatly respect. Slat is an amazing pilot. And he was really dogging the new FetTech stuff, man. He was really, really dogging the new FetTech stuff. Apparently, there's a little bit of an issue there. I don't know what it is. I know people keep telling me I need to try KISS, but I haven't tried KISS yet. I think you can get stuff in stock now because they have the new Ultra. Is it Ultra that they did the new firmware for? The KISS Ultra they did that for? I don't remember what it is, but apparently the stock is better, so maybe I'll get a chance to try it. We'll see. Murders FPV, show us where DJI touched you on a doll. No murders. No. Not on live stream. That has to be done in front of a jury of your peers. That's the only place where that's appropriate, murders. Gardo rotor got wood. Yes. I'm trying to get some wood, Gardo rotor, to fly with. I want to fly with wood. Yeah. Vitrafly, Zang, man. Hey, speaking of Vitrafly, if you haven't seen his super awesome 3D designs, you really should check him out. Dude is really, really talented when it comes to Blender. And actually, someone decided to pretend to be him and try to sell his designs the other day, and it really made me sad. And luckily, he decided, like a awesome human being, to put some of them up on Thingiverse. So definitely check out Vitrafly's stuff, especially if you have the Quadmula frames, because I believe that he's doing GoPro mounts for the Quadmula frames right now. That's what those are for. And they are just, sorry, they're killer. Let me see if I can find one. Thingiverse. Let me go to Thingiverse and see if I can find this. See if Vitrafly's name on Thingiverse is Vitrafly. See if he unified it. It is not. Oh, Vitrafly. I wish I could find your stuff, dude. I would totally show it here. Blizzard FPV, thank you for $2 Canadian, $2 Canadian. I got a RCHackers you can have. Yeah, if you want to send it to me, shoot me an email. It is in my channel. It is not Bacon Ninja FPV. It's actually dadbodrc87@gmail.com. If you want to shoot me an email there, I will totally pay to ship that here and play with it because I want to try an RCHackers board just to just to say that I did, so that when people who have been doing this forever tell me I don't know what I'm doing, I can remind them that I have played with those toys. Plus, I just think it's cool to play with old stuff and see how it worked. Yeah. Yeah, Carbon Cage is right, man. Vitrify. How do we get a custom mount STL? They're crazy. He makes some crazy stuff. He really, really does. Okay. Let's see here. Man, I wish I could find Vitrify stuff on Thingiverse. Maybe if I search for Quadmula on here. I know I'll find it if I search for Quadmula. Come on, Quadmula. Show me Vitrify's awesome designs. No, it's not on there. Nope, here's one of Vitrify's designs. I totally found one. Here we go. Check this out. Check out what he's doing. Look at this stuff. That is his design. I believe this is for the Hero 11 Mini. Check out that. The face and everything. Dude, it's like got a Slimer thing going on. He even has like a mohawk. It's super awesome. That guy spends so much time in Blender. I could never do that. That is not a skill set for me. Not a skill set for me, but Vitrify's got it down, man. Mike Bergman, are you still running any resin prints on quads? Are they holding up? I am still playing with it. I stopped for wintertime. So in the video where I talked about it, I had alluded to the fact that when it gets cold, it gets brittle. That is true, and that is controllable. So I know exactly what to expect. When it gets cold, it gets brittle. The problem is when it gets hot, it turns into a freaking noodle. That's actually a bigger problem than the brittle cold, because in the brittle cold, you'll only break it if you crash. When it becomes a limp noodle, you break it just from S-bang. Like I actually broke a couple of mounts just from doing inverted yaw spins, because I put so much G load on the camera, it ripped the mounts. So I'm working on different blends. Z Monster in my Discord, actually, I have it right here. He sent me some cool stuff that he printed out of a resin blend. It's a different one that I don't own, but he wanted me to try it and see what I thought. So I didn't have to buy a whole bottle. But his prints have been really, really good. Like really, 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 really good. Here you go. This is one of Z Monster's resin prints for the Thumb Pro. And I know it's hard to see on stream, but there are literally no layer lines in this. It is all super duper clean, and it is flexible, right? It's super flexible, just like the stuff I was showing, except for this is a little bit tougher. And I think it's going to hold up much better than the stuff I'm using. So I'm going to wind up having to get a bottle of this and do some print tests. But that's where it's at, Mike. Cool Cat. Get a hold of a CC3D board too, circa 2006. They're just as historically iconic. I don't know if I've seen one of those because I'm too new, dude. Like, I feel like a noob all the time. Sorry. I'm going to keep apologizing for my coughs. I really hate that I'm so sick. CC3D. Oh, I guess it had PWM outputs too. Huh. That is old school. Yeah, I want to try all that stuff. I may have to do a video where I like get a bunch of old things and play with them as a new pilot and see what I think, and crash a lot of crap and waste a lot of money, but it'd be a lot of fun. Bitterroot, I'm about to get lit AF. Yep, it's time, dude. It's 8 o'clock. If you haven't done it yet, it's time to start. So it's too expensive of a hobby for me. I can't get into it. Plus, yeah, work would be hard the next day, especially because they test for all that stuff. So I don't get to have that kind of fun. So hit one for me, dude. Ah, man. Blizzard FPV, chewy bacon or crispy? Chewy bacon isn't bacon. Chewy bacon is ham. So you should always have your bacon crispy because that's what defines bacon. If you have it chewy, you might as well just put it between two pieces of bread, put a piece of cheese on it, and eat it for lunch. That's how I feel about that. Yeah, just total honest opinion. No, but I really do like crispy bacon. I almost like it on the verge of being burned, and my wife gives me a real hard time about it because I like all of my meat that way. Like burned where it's terrible for you. Like there's actually a chemical reaction that happens that is not good for your body, but that's what I like because I treat myself like a human garbage can, and that's just fine because we don't live forever. So that's why I'm drinking this wild red HEB brand diet soda right now with fake sugar that's probably poisonous. That, you know, but at least it's not sugar, right? Murder says he put Kiss back on his G4. Yeah, you flash your G4 back to Kiss instead of what did you have on it before? What's the other one? What's the other one? There's Kiss, and I guess there's Ultra, right? Kiss and Ultra. Yeah, Glenn GH. I was using Siren Tenacious. Yes, that was the liquid resin I was using, that flex resin, and it is really good if you have an indoor application for it where the temperature is within a range between like 50 degrees Fahrenheit or even 40s are kind of okay. 50 degrees Fahrenheit and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, it maintains its consistency. It's perfect at that temperature. It is not okay at 110 degrees. And unfortunately, I fly half the year in 110 degrees. So it's not okay. And it's not okay at like 32 or 20 degrees either. But I don't crash often enough to really worry about that. I know that sounds terrible, but I don't have like part-breaking crashes all the time. Normally when I crash, it's a belly flop because I can see it coming. So I don't think I'd break a lot of them from brittleness, but I snap the crap out of them from heat. It's just totally opposite of what I expected. Blizzard FPV, I think that's a great idea. Retro builds, man. Yeah, I really want to. I should do a whole series on retro builds. It'd be super awesome. I wish I had all the time in the world to make FPV videos. I have been working. So much. Like, I don't know, between video editing and work itself, probably like 65 or 70 hours a week. So trying new things has not been my gig lately. But I really want to get back to it when I can finally let up a little at work. It's busy season for us. And maybe it'll be one of the things I try along with that pizza drone. I have a whole like pile of ideas sitting in my to-do list. So maybe I can get around to some of them. Anthony Z, that's how United does the bacon. Are you talking about the floppy? It better not be floppy. I'll never eat United bacon if it's floppy. It's terrible. Stovall FPV, isn't your top tier ham steak? I believe it is in Patreon. My top tier is ham steak. I'm not logged into my Patreon. I believe it is. It's bacon bit, thick slab, and ham steak. Yep, it is. But you'll notice I have channel subscriptions on now, and rather than do them as meat cuts, I did them as like black belt, brown belt, like ninja belts. Not ninja belts, it's not ninja, but karate belts. I did them that way because I wanted to differentiate the channel subscriptions and the Patreons and give everybody kind of their own uniqueness. Garter rotor, proper bacon is black and brittle. You are right. That's the truth, buddy. It should be brittle and slightly blackened. Yes. Murders FPV Alpha. Yeah, that is the other firmware, Alpha. That's right. That's their new one, Alpha. So you went back from the new Alpha firmware. Everybody was super excited for that Alpha firmware too. And yeah, I did not hear good things. Did not hear good things at all. Yeah. You can put the Ultra on G4. Ultra firmwares for the KISS Ultra FCFC. FCFC. I never understood the two FCs. I honestly have not done that much research on KISS and all that stuff. So, yeah, I know that there are several people in my YouTube comments that are like, dude, you gotta run KISS. You gotta run KISS. You gotta build something with KISS. And I'm like, someday it'll happen. It might happen. Who knows? It'll happen as soon, like the same time that I go to Rampage one year, that'll happen. So nearly never. The 4th of never is when I'm going to get around to that one. Mike Bergman, a ham snake. A ham snake. Nice. No, it's a ham steak. It's a ham steak, Mike. If it was a ham snake, I might try to eat it. Technically, if you want to get really technical about it and you want to call something a ham snake, you would probably be talking about a sausage link or like a series of sausage links because it would be in the shape of a snake and it would technically be made out of the same thing as ham. So there's your ham snake, buddy. Flying Ryan FPV, the O3 Air Unit, your go-to now. No, not really. Sadly, you would think so because it's so nice. It is very, very nice. but it's very, very expensive. And I haven't found myself really enjoying the video output. Like, I enjoy it in the goggles. Sure, it looks good in the goggles. I get that. The range and penetration, A+. But as far as the recording, I fly it in 4K. I have been flying it in 4K, 120 FPS, 16:9, just because I want the 120 FPS, even though I normally fly 4.3. And I'm just not super happy with the video quality out of it, even updates with a bit color, because I spend a lot of time doing color grading and like putting my edits together with music and like making it an art form. And I don't feel like I get the creativity leeway with the camera out of the O3 system. It's kind of like the same reason I don't run the Action 2. I like my GoPros and my Boneses, my GoPro Bones. These are my go-tos. The other things don't matter as much to me. So I'll still run a RunCam Link, and I'll definitely run an HDZero Freestyle VTX as long as I don't want to fly somewhere that needs a whole ton of range and penetration. If I'm just freestyling for fun somewhere. So I really don't have favorites. I'll even run analog, honestly. As long as I can put a good GoPro on it and the output footage is what I want it to be to have fun with, then yeah, I'm not super crazy about putting the O3 on everything. Plus, it's just super expensive to do. I can only have 2 of them. So, Carbon Cage FPV, ladies love the ham snake. No, Carbon Cage. You might be right, but this is the wrong end of YouTube, buddy. It's a different thing that ends in tube. Well, okay. That wasn't meant to come out that way either. Chicken steak. That is for the heart healthy. The chicken steak. It's boneless, skinless. Yeah, the chicken steak. Johnny 5, peppered bacon or maple bacon, which is king? Peppered bacon is king, Johnny 5. And thank you for stopping by the stream, man. And thank you for your comment earlier on the video about the walk snail gear. I appreciate your opinion, dude. I really do. And someday, hopefully I get to fly through someday, Johnny. Hopefully I'll make it down to Houston and check out your spot, man. I really hope so. But peppered bacon is where it's at, along with peppered beef jerky, because peppered is the best flavor you can get in a lot of things. Adam Zaninovich. Speaking of that, any tips for color grading O3 recordings? Yes, some tips for color grading O3 recordings. I won't say that I am an expert at it. I am not super color grading artist, but what I do with my O3 recordings is I apply a LUT, and the 2 LUTs that I have the Dobo LUT, which is Ken Dobo, original Dobo, his channel, and he has a store. He has a LUT for the Avata, which is also good for the Cine-like on, I believe, the Mini 3, the Mavic Mini 3, but it's for the DJI Cine-like color profile. So I use that one. And then I use another one. Who is the other one that I can't remember the other one, but I wind up using Dobo's quite a bit. I do find that his adds a little too much green. So what I wind up doing is I apply the LUT in Premiere Pro as my base LUT. And then I go to my color mixer, so the channel mixer, and I pull the greens back a little bit so that I can blend it in with the blues a little bit better. And then I normally apply a Johnny FPV LUT. So the Johnny FPV GoPro LUTs, if you just use the LUT and not the Rec 709 conversion that it comes with for GoPro, you just use the LUT as a creative LUT in Premiere Pro and apply that. And then I normally slide it down to like 70% saturation or so, and it tends to look good. And then I'll tweak it a little bit with corrections. But that's normally the process I use when I want to color grade that footage. So, yeah. Let's see here. Garter Rotor, the DJI O3 does go kind of dark at times. It's so hard to get good color. It does, and the only way you can get rid of that is if you lock the exposure and the ISO. So, I mean, I'm not a fan with the O3 system of running less than 120 FPS because I like the latency to be low. And if I want to get good footage with decent motion blur, I mean, I can lock it for 120 FPS, but my shutter speed is going to be something like 1/1800 or something to get it right, unless I put an ND filter on it. And the ND filters are terrific, and I use ND filters. In fact, Freewell sent me a bunch of their ND filters, and I need to put a link out in case anybody wants them. I don't get paid for any of that, but they want to know how many people are interested in their filters. They're just really hard to get on and off the O3 cameras. So I find myself like not wanting to put one on there so that I don't have to pop it off. Again, which is why I'm not really going to pick the O3 system as my go-to daily driver, because I just don't feel like I can get creative enough with enough flexibility and not totally mess up the way my pilot feed looks. So yeah, anyway, you can get rid of that whole exposure problem, but it becomes detrimental to how you fly the quad. Blizzard FPV, thank you for another $2 Canadian. Say baselut 5x fast. Okay, baselut. That probably sounded like two different words when put together, and I didn't realize that's what you were telling me to do until I did it. So, so thank you. I hope the $2 is worth it. Hope the $2 is worth it, Blizzard. Zanhost FPV, what's up, man? He says, "Sup, bacon." What's up, Zanhost? And just so you guys know, I meant to tell you earlier, in this stream, I do intend to continue to do a series of streams. I don't know what the scheduling is going to look like, but this is actually a lot of fun. For as much as I complain about being made to do it, it's actually a lot of fun to do. But I plan on getting things where I can highlight comments. This one I just scheduled all wrong, so I can't actually get the comments in my streaming software. I'm having to look at them separately. But at some point, I'll be able to click on it, and then like your comment will come up. It's just not going to be today. So. Hornet, about Walk Snail, did you try the patch on the TX of the VRX? The patch, try it with a patch on the TX of the VRX. I did not. I did not try it with a patch on the TX. I assume you're saying it's the right top one that the transmits. You're saying put a patch on that. I did not try that. I actually didn't have any range issues with the VRX any more than I expected. So I ran the 1S. I so far have ran the 1S, which is why I'm not ready to do a full review of the system. So I don't have the big one. But I didn't have any range issues even at 350 milliwatts. I went almost as far as I normally go, even with my DJI quads at the place that I usually fly, and didn't have any real breakup problems. I think I had one issue where it smeared and then I got the red box around it, but it wasn't a concern enough for me to go messing with the antennas. But I've heard good things about swapping out the patches. So, yeah. So far, it's been good. So far, it's been good without having to do anything to them. I did swap out the Omnis just for safety, but I didn't. I mean, you can tell the stock Omnis are not optimal, but if you watch MadTech's video, he actually tests the stock Omnis, and they're closer to optimal than you would imagine. They just kind of look cheap. But I put my iFlight ones that came with my crystal patch for my DJI because I don't use them. So I put them on the Walk Snail, and it improved it a little bit. It improved it slightly. So I would recommend putting some decent Omnis on there. So, whoa. I can't. How do you say that, Saggy Balls? It's 5 O's in a row. How do I pronounce that in a way that doesn't make me sound like I'm saying ooh every time? I don't understand, but I'll figure it out someday. It's a good stream. Thank you for saying it's a good maiden stream. It's so far been a lot of fun. Caleb, thank you for a $2 super chat. Keep it up, man. 6 degrees up north. No flying here. Nope. I will stand outside in like 20 degrees or 15 degrees and let my fingers freeze to death, and I'll fly a couple packs till I can't feel them anymore. And then I'll like hold the lipo that just came down to heat them back up, and then I'll fly a couple more. But 6 degrees, nope, I'm not going outside at all in 6 degrees. This is Texas. If it's 6 degrees here, the world is ending. And it's like literally the world will come to a stop in Texas at 6 degrees. 8-bit FPV stutters time to time. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that it's not too bad. Like I said, I didn't really optimize it because I haven't done a whole lot of them yet. So I haven't optimized everything. I'm actually doing this over Wi-Fi, if that surprises you. So I'm on a desktop connected to Wi-Fi, and I didn't run a cable because I hadn't got everything in a setup where I can keep it. So Mike Bourbon says dropping frames here. Hopefully it gets better. I'm sure my kids are like streaming 30 kinds of Netflix right now, trying to be quiet in the bedroom so that they don't scream in the background of my stream. So Carbon Cage. Oh, now it's glitchy. Most people are Most people are saying it's glitchy now. Hopefully they get better. I can't really do too much about it because I'm limited in options. My computer is over here, but the one I edit on is across the room, and my router and all my stuff is over there across the room. And I do not have a switch. I have one network port that goes to my editing computer, and everything else in the house is Wi-Fi. So I have to get a switch to be able to plug this one in as well, and then string a cable across the room. And I have not yet done that. So yeah, Caleb, wind chill got it in the hella negatives. The only time we get like 1 digit or negative is due to wind chill here. And I seriously, dude, it's like nobody will go outside. None of us own coats good enough to do 10 degrees here in Texas. Now, maybe like way up north in the panhandle of Texas, because it is such a gigantic state. I am like barely into the panhandle, but people way further up north, closer to Oklahoma, they get a lot more cold weather and snow. So I bet they have the right gear, but here we would just die. We just crawl out in the street and die, basically. That's all we can do in that kind of weather. Hornet, yeah, you're welcome for the answer, man. The triple feed patch on your TX of the Walksnail VRX. Let you know better retransmissions equal better average. Yeah, so yes, better retransmissions will be better average variable latency. And the ability to send that retransmit out faster should help. Now, with a triple feed patch, I assume you fly in front of yourself a lot. It would make a lot of sense if you fly in front of yourself. For sure it would. I think, though, that the best thing Walksnail can do for their system is continue to work on the compression algorithm, because that's where the latency variability is. When you look at the chain of latency, you've got latency between the camera and the VTX, which is what the MIPI cable is carrying, which is literally like nanoseconds worth of latency. Then you've got the VTX actually processing and compressing and encrypting everything. Although in this case, it's not encrypting, but it's doing all the compression and packaging of the data. And that is what takes time. There's a variability of time based on the movement and the colors and all that stuff. And then the actual RF transmission is at the speed of light after it's amplified. So that is literally like maybe less than nanoseconds. And then on the other side, you've got to decode it and then drive the LCDs and all that stuff. So really a lot of it is in the compression algorithm. And if they get better at that, the variability of that latency should greatly improve. And I think at that point, I'll be happier with it. Will the image quality be more consistent, and the latency will be too. So we'll see how that goes. Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper. Yeah, keep the live stream going. It's great. Hope you can make it for Dutch time too. It's now 3 a.m. here. I am so sorry you were up at 3 a.m., buddy. I know you said you were going to try to make it, and I really appreciate it that you are here. And yes, I will try to make some on earlier time slots during the weekend when Joshua Bardwell is not doing his, because I want everybody to be able to watch his too, because I love watching his streams. So maybe like I'll do Saturdays during the day at some point, and that would be cool. My parents are just going to be in town from Arkansas this weekend, so I can't do during the day, because if I decide to bail during the day while my parents are here, my wife will kill me for leaving her alone with people that she has to entertain. So I have to be around for that one. Yeah. So yeah, I would prefer my wife to not kill me in my sleep. Anybody else feel that way? I don't know. Am I the only one? Caleb, I'm inside in 2 flannels and a hoodie. This is rough. Yeah, I would be too, man. I would be too. Oh, that's how I'm going to say your name, Saggy Balls. Bacon is throwing his computer setup reminds me of Kevin Hart. The way my bank account is set up. Yes, exactly. Absolutely, man. Oh, Caleb. Yeah, cool cat. Just Montana. That's not North. Montana. Who is in Montana? I think Montana is awesome. Is somebody from Montana? Montana is super cool. I would love to just visit Montana. I don't know that I'd want to live in Montana. I have a feeling there's literally nothing around for miles and miles and miles, but it is beautiful. I think I'd like to visit and just like relax and be around nobody and nothing for a couple weeks and then come home. So that'd be pretty cool. James Hood, does your wife, my wife, fly as well? She does. The Avata back there is actually her drone, which is why you don't see me fly it very often, because I'm not going to break her drone, because I would fly it in manual mode and I would do stupid things with it. So I flew it once and I let her keep it, because I'd ruin it. I know I'd ruin it. Murders got one, and Murders did some crazy stuff with his, and I felt like I wanted to try some of that too. And then I realized that if I did it, I would ruin my wife's toy. And I didn't want to do that because I like when she flies with me. It's been a little too cold for her to go lately, so I've been by myself, but we got to get back to it pretty soon. I think next month the temperatures are going to be back to normal. So carbon cage, 102 degrees Fahrenheit for weeks, no rain. Yep, 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Where are you at, Carbon Cage? Am I right? Are you in? You're not in Australia. You're not in Australia. Where are you at, Carbon Cage? Somebody said it once before, but I don't remember. But I could see 102 in Australia. Hornet. What I meant mostly is it probably results in less corrupted packets as the signal is less diluted in front of you, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, less corrupted packets, the signal is less diluted. Yes, I could see that being the case. I would be really interested to see. So you can do a UFL mod on those. You can pull the front patches out. I'd be really interested to see if you pull the front patches out and you put 2 triple feeds on the top and then 2 more on where the patches are, and then point them in a way where you could cover directly in front of you and then also off. I mean, you could probably get like a 110-degree view in front of you with all triple feeds. And I wonder what that would look like, especially with a wing. I think it'd be really cool with a wing. I really do. Caleb, me, and yep, that's what it is up here. Yeah, complete emptiness in Montana, but yeah, very beautiful, incredibly beautiful. So I would come hang out, but if I want to go to Montana, I want to go and be in the woods with no one around, because that is my dream, in the woods. Murders FPV, that thing is hard to break. Seriously, talking about the Avata. Yeah, I mean, I have not crashed it. Neither has she. She has flown it a lot, and she has never crashed it. And she's using the motion controller. I'm not going to say the other name for it on a stream. But she loves the motion controller, and I've flown it manual, and I have yet to crash it. And I didn't have any problems with the yaw, doing the death roll. But I'm pretty used to flying things with ducks. So I know what you can and can't do with a flat yaw spin. So it never even tried to do it to me. I had one time where I had some yaw wash in a move, but I knew that was going to happen, and I knew how to react to it ahead of time. I think a lot of people that had that problem maybe just weren't used to whooped quads. And it did. I mean, it was a little more prone to it than normal things. I'll give them that. And it sounds like it's fixed. I don't know if their fix kind of dumbed it down any, but it sounds like it's better now. So I hope that it is. Oh, yeah. Carbon Cage, Perth, Australia. I thought I remembered you being from Australia, man. 102 makes sense there. So, yeah, it's summertime for you. That makes sense. I think that what would that be? Latitude. So you're south of the equator. I bet you're probably south of the equator about the same distance north of the equator I am. Because our summers are just like that. It's you wake up and it's 95 degrees and it gets up to like 115 during the day and then goes back down to 90 maybe at night, and then increases a little bit as the morning comes on. So I bet we're about the same latitude off. You're just on the other side. But the real question about Australia, does the water actually spin backwards in your toilet? That's the question. You have to answer that for me. I need you to confirm the water direction as you flush your toilet, please. Gregory Hurst, welcome to Brown Belt. Awesome. Thank you, Gregory. You are now a Brown Belt. You would be the first channel member, my friend. You're trudging ahead. And what you are entitled to now is you are entitled to some perks that are different from the perks at the Patreon page. And I will be making a collection of emojis that you can use in comment replies, and live streams. And right now there's only one, but there will be more. There will be many, many more coming. And now there's a cool little badge next to your name with some bacon strips. And the longer you are a channel member, the higher the number will go. So thank you very much for jumping in toe first and being the first one. I appreciate you, Gregory. FPV Girl, what's the other name? If you're asking me what the other name is with a smiley face, then you know what the other name is. And I'm going to let Mr. Steele say it on YouTube. I'm not, because there's a window to my left that you can't see, and my family's behind said window, and they can hear me. And I think they look at me really funny if I said it. So I'm going to let you use your imagination, because I know you know exactly what it is. Let's see. It's darts. Lived near Dallas for 7 years. Too hot. The problem with Dallas is not only that it's hot, because it's hot. It's not quite as hot as it gets here. But the problem with Dallas is it is also humid because the dirt is just different there. Here we have sand, so it doesn't retain any water and it gets dry. Super dry here. In Dallas, they have the nice, like, rich black dirt that holds a lot of moisture. And when it gets hot, it like comes out of the ground and it will just suffocate you with humidity. It's just a nightmare. So yeah, totally get that. Totally get that. It starts hail is too big in Texas too, softball size. Yes. We get literally hail as big as your fist, and you have to come inside the house and hope that nothing gets murdered outside. Because if you are outside and it hits you in the head, you will have a concussion, guaranteed. We get hail randomly too. Like it'll just be a random storm, and suddenly it'll start hailing, and out of nowhere, and it's not even cold outside. It's just how much wind we have pushes that back up in the atmosphere. Little particles of dirt forms an ice ball, and then it's done. It is totally done. Totally done. I'm going to text somebody because I actually have a special guest that's been wanting to be in on this stream. So I'm going to let him come in a second so you can meet him. But I have to text someone first to get that done. So hold on a second. He's super excited to talk to you all. I know I hadn't mentioned a special guest, but we have one. So it starts where in Texas am I? I am in Lubbock, Texas, so not too far. I grew up near Dallas. I grew up actually in the Colony, which is like Frisco, Plano area, which I'm sure you're familiar with because it's all one big thing now. When I grew up there were still farms and there were no toll roads. And as I moved out, everything is a toll road and there is no land left anywhere. So there's a pretty good group down there, though. I hope you fly with. There's a pretty good group of pilots that fly pretty regularly down in Dallas. So Flynn GH. He says to Matthew, he's just north of Toronto, man. Toronto. I think Canada is an awesome place, but man, it is so cold and it's so big. People don't realize how big Canada is, especially like some of the individual, are they provinces in Canada? They're gigantic. They're super big and just cold, very, very cold. But in the summer, I can imagine it is more than beautiful there. More than beautiful. All right. Catch up with the chat here. Catch up with the chat. Black Jungle 308. Yep, it's a live stream. Thank you very much for joining in. How hard has it been to avoid cursing since there's no editing later? Yeah, you guys don't know this, but I do actually curse a lot when I record my videos. I just cut it out because I will screw up continuously. I do not have a script when I make my videos. I just go for it. Like I make some talking points on a piece of paper. Well, not paper anymore. It's actually on my computer. I make some talking points and then I just go to town on it and I screw up continuously and I wind up just cutting it out. So I'd rather do that than script it all and make it sound robotic. So, but yes, I do cut out a whole lot of cursing and I am having to make conscious efforts to not let it happen here. Definitely. Bitterroot FPV. Blunty moved to like Alabama. Yeah, somewhere over there. Somewhere over in Alabama. But he says he gets to fish there. That's what I heard. And he's a big fisherman. So it's cool that he gets to do something he loves close to home. I'm sure that was very hard in Colorado. Finding a place to fish for big fish would be really hard in Colorado. I really hope the coughing is not super loud. I turned a thing on that's supposed to mute it as it happens, and I hope it's working. Hope it's working. Brundlefly moving to Phoenix. No snow ever. No snow ever, but you will boil. But I think actually the heat in Phoenix, so I have been to Arizona a few times. When I lived in New Mexico, I lived 10 miles from the Arizona border. And Phoenix, I never quite went all the way to Phoenix, but I spent a lot of time going to other places in Arizona. And it's just dry. The heat is dry. And when the heat is dry, it is very different. It's not, you don't sweat. Like you feel it and you'll get a sunburn. But it's not as miserable as it is when you combine it with humidity. Like when it gets hot in Houston, Texas, being so close to the coast, if it's not windy, it's freaking miserable because it's just like 100% humidity. It's terrible. Kelbrock, will you do a tutorial on some of your FPV flying style and moves? Yes, I sure will. I have done a couple of them. They've been kind of minor. I tend to not do too much of it because I don't know if anybody knows this, but I get a lot of complaints about my fly style. People seem to hate it. There are some people out there that just hate it, and they tell me it doesn't make any sense. So yes, I will probably be making more of those in the future. So, okay, I think my special guest is arriving soon. So, yeah, here he is. Come here, special guest. Come over here. Come over here. This is my special guest. This is Bacon Bit, and he's very excited to be on the stream. Say hi. Hi, everybody. This is Bacon. Oh, thank you, babe. And this is my wife. You didn't see her hand. She is she's over there somewhere. Yeah, there she is. Hi. I told him I don't fly your drone. Just so you know, I told him I don't fly it. Yeah. You don't want to say anything? What do you want to say? It's okay, buddy. He was excited. Now he's nervous. So, yeah. Are you done, Bacon Bit? Okay, he's done. That was Bacon Bit. He's a special guest. He's been asking me for a week if he could come on the live stream, and then I've had to set up my camera and let him do live streams. So, yeah. Thank you for saying hello to him, everybody. He really appreciates it. Oh, and you, babe. Yeah, yes, and you. They said hi to you as well. Thank you all very much. He appreciates it. He gets super nervous, but he wants to do everything I do. So he wants to fly drones, and he wants to make videos, and he watches YouTube constantly. And I have a video on my YouTube channel that's unlisted because that little dude never wears clothes. So like he runs around nearly butt naked all the time. And he made a video about, I don't remember what, but he did a whole hour-long YouTube video on his own, and I let him record it on my GoPro, and it's the cutest thing you've ever seen. He's like, every 5 minutes, remember to like and subscribe, everybody, as he's explaining something he has no idea about. It's really super cute. Thank you all for being so supportive of him. Hopefully someday he'll have a channel. That boy has every opportunity to be a much better pilot than me. I started way too late. I have no problem saying how old I am. I'm 35, and if I had started when I was 20, my reaction time would be so much better, and I would be such a better pilot. And that boy has tons and tons and tons of time to figure it out and have a whole career in it if he wants to. I wish I had found it when I was younger. You look at people like Bubby, a massive amount of respect for Bubby. That kid is amazing, and he got into it right at the right time, and he has a huge bunch of friends he flies with and a ton of skill. And I wish I could have found that at that age. Stovall FPV, $10. Here's to Bacon Bit and the missus. Thank you very much. And if that $10 is for Bacon Bit, I can promise you it goes straight into buying FPV things for him because he loves FPV things. I have to buy him little quads and radio parts and stuff, and then he can tell me every part of a quad and how it's supposed to go together because he's just super obsessed with it. Yeah. Murders, FPV. Baby Murders has been dying to fly. Let him fly. I think your kid is younger than Bacon Bit. Is that true, Murders? Or is he older? Bacon Bit is 4. So Bacon Bit can fly an acro on the simulator. I don't let him fly real quads because that'd be super dangerous. But yeah. Stovall FPV, Bacon Bit's first super chat. Thank you very much, Stovall, for being his first. He appreciates that. He's been looking forward to it for a week and then totally nervoused out at the last second. So, yeah. Caleb, Bubby stole my first name, Caleb says. Yes, Bubby stole your first name. Who was around first, because that's who gets it. That's how it works legally. So, Gregory Hurst, the first channel member, Gregory Hurst. Bubby is racing now, and watching his progress makes me sick. Yeah, dude, it's good, isn't it? He's got a lot of talent. Dude is super talented. He can just pick up anything and go. Baby Murders is 3, and he already rips in Sims. Yes, start him young, buddy. There's no reason not to anymore. I know, like they say, tablets are bad for kids and stuff, and I get that if you're just doing mindless television, but working on fine motor skills like that and getting the concept of flight is actually like super great brain development. So I totally encourage that. If you have kids that are interested in it, just get them a cheapy radio and let them go to town and lost a drone. It can't hurt anything, right? Yeah. Carbon Cage. I got an early, started at 3 years old flying 5-inch. They can do it. Get them in the wire for sure. Get them in the wire for sure. What does that mean? Do you mean like the trainer thing? Get like trainer? Yeah. I'm gonna let him fly probably. So I have, you can't see it up there. I have a Tiny Hawk 2 Freestyle. I have not the Baby Ape, but the Tiny Ape. I have that, and then I have the 3-inch pork chop, and he'll probably wind up flying one of those first. I imagine. So he's going to be 5 in a month, and I'll probably let him fly soon after that. Probably with trainer connected to my radio, though. Nick Grolio, he's definitely amazing. Thank you very much, Nick. Yes, Caleb is amazing. Whichever Caleb you're talking about, I know we're talking about Bubby. He's definitely amazing. Yeah, dude is incredibly talented. Booster FPV, what props do you use? You can't see them back there either. I use the Ethix Radberries right now. So I'm a fan of the Ethix line of props. HQ makes them. I do also run Gym Fans. I like Gym Fan props. I ran the Vanny Gym Fan props for a while. I find that they're just a little too heavy, a little too chunky for my liking, and just a hair too stiff. I like something that has a little bit more give. And HQ props tend to be a thinner profile. They have a little bit more give. And I was running the PB&Js for a long time. They are very, very good props. They're just a little too low pitch, especially for the way I fly, which is normally like I spend a lot of time above 50% throttle, above 70% throttle, really a lot of times. So if I put PB&Js on, you'll get that like goose honking noise all the time that tells you your props are running out. So I have a little bit stiffer of a prop in the Radberries. The problem with the Radberries is that when you crash them, sometimes they get destroyed at the hub, which is kind of a trade-off. I have actually had that. That hasn't happened to me in a little while. I think they had a few bad batches of Radberries, to be honest with you. So I haven't had that issue in a while, and it's been much better. But I really do like the Radberries. So Stovall FPV, it's no different than us millennials playing video games. Yeah. I'm one of those. I've been playing a lot of video games lately, and it makes me feel bad because I could be making videos, but instead I am sitting on my couch playing Hogwarts Legacy like a total nerd because Hogwarts Legacy is freaking awesome. And if you haven't played it and you are thinking about it, you should totally do it because, you would not think it's a cool game because it's just wizards with wands, but it's freaking cool. Booster FPV, I like the Gym Fan 4934 props. Yeah, those are the Spang props, right? The 4934s. I flew those. They just don't have enough disc loading for how heavy my quads are. So a lot of those builds are above 750 grams. The Quadmula Siren F5 split and the Mini is going to be like 650 grams. It's going to be a really low weight quad. But I feel like the 4.9-inch prop size on the quads that I fly with the 1300 milliamp hour packs, it just isn't enough prop load. So I don't feel like it's stable enough. I like a 5.1-inch prop usually just because of that. Murders, PB&Js rip on some 1700 kV slots. Yep, they do. 1700 kV would be a good spot for PB&Js because the top end isn't going to run them out too hard, especially if you have a lighter quad. It's not going to push them. So Carbon Cage, Radberries are cool. Been on them too. Yeah, I like the Ethix stuff. I like to sit in one line of props, but I say that, and at the same time, I have a whole like milk crate full of props where I bought 2 or 3 different ones, and then bought 2 or 3 other ones, and then I have like 45 different kinds of props in there. So I say that I like the Ethix and I stay in that, but I don't. I just like to think I do. Mike Bergman, I had that same problem with the Ethix S5s where they sounded like they would resonate. I got rid of it by changing my motor timing. Yeah, that can happen too with your timing. That can happen too. Was it only at like 90 or 95% throttle? Because that's normally where it happens to me is that last 10% or so. It just duck sounds because they flatten out and they start vibrating. The timing issue, I think I've had that happen a couple times too, but that's for me more toward middle throttle. Like it finds a resonance point and vibrates like that, and then it'll cut off as I move throttle up. So, but mine definitely run out at the top end. Yeah. Cool cat. Yep. Got to go PUBG some dudes. Yep. Go play PUBG, buddy. Thank you for hanging out, though. I appreciate that. No, Mike Bergman isn't a moderator yet. I'm not sure who to make moderators yet because this is my first one. If somebody's going to be a moderator, I want to know that they can show up again because I wanted to moderate. Luckily, my channel is so small that I don't need a ton of moderation. I'm lucky. But no, as I continue to do these, I will totally pick some moderators because I will need help. I will absolutely need some help. Yeah, Bitterroot FPV. I got a bunch of FPV crate props. Yep, that's where I got a bunch of mine. This shirt is an FPV crate shirt, and all the shirts that I do my videos in are FPV crate shirts, except for the one that I have that is Lord Wolf's shirt, because Lord Wolf is just a cool guy, and I bought his shirt. So that one I purchased, but the rest of them are all FPV crate, and for a while their FPV crate was just sending me the FPV crate. So I really like the shirts out of them, but I like trying out the new props they sent too. But that's how I wound up with a bunch. Mike Bergman, no, for me, it was throughout the low to mid throttle makes sense. For the timing, for the duck call out of the props, yes. That's what I expect for the timing, is that it's low to mid throttle. Mine was always at the very top end, and that's definitely prop run out when it gets up that high. So it's easy to find out because you just blip the throttle, and if it sounds like you just kicked a duck in the face, then that's the problem. But if it's at mid throttle, yeah, it's normally a timing or sometimes it can be a PWM issue as well. Bitterroot FPV, make me blue, make you a moderator, make you blue. I will definitely be adding some moderators. Don't you worry. I will definitely, because yeah, I cannot moderate this myself. I can barely keep up with the comments as I'm reading them on my own. Now, when I get my streaming software done correctly, it'll be easier because everything's color coded and highlighted. But I'm definitely going to need help. I'm actually like in my Discord server. I know a lot of you guys are actually over there. Chow FPV spends a lot of time over there, and he's the only moderator currently. And I'm trying to pick other ones, and I have a couple in mind, and I haven't told those people yet, but they'll find out because it just takes me forever to get around to picking moderators for things. Vitrafly, did you know about my secret merch drop? I did not know you had a secret merch drop. What do you mean secret merch drop? Because that sounds interesting. Sounds really interesting. By the way, Vitrafly, you're really killing it lately, dude. Just so you know, I always tell you, but I think you're super, super awesome Spang pilot. Mike Bergman, it 100% sounds like I slapped a Canadian goose, LMAO. Yes. So don't slap real Canadian geese, but yes, if it sounds like that, yes, absolutely that. Carbon Cage FPV. Vitrafly had some magnet drop issues with the JJ motors. JJ motors. I don't know if I know what those are. Maybe I'd recognize them if I saw them, but I don't know them by name. Caleb, Montana boys for the win at Bitterroot FPV. Montana boys got to stick together because there ain't that many boys in Montana. Vitrafly, yeah, DM me, man. That'd be cool. I would love to see what you got going on, dude. And murders, yes, Vitrafly merch is on fire. Yep. Where can I buy some, bro? Vitrafly, you got to get those links out there, homie. You gotta get that paper. Yeah, I'm interested in what the JJ motors are too. Jacuzzi J motors. What are Jacuzzi J motors? I'm gonna look these up. Jacuzzi J motors. Jacuzzi J motors. That's a spa supply place. Is that what you're talking about, Carbon Cage? I don't think so. Black. Let's see. FPV. I see the pilot, but I don't see the motors. I don't see the motors. Maybe I do. Those aren't it. Those it? Oh, they are. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Let me pull this up. Is this what we're talking about, Carbon Cage? Team Old Mate 22 7.5 1969 2569 Stoke motor by Jacuzzi J. Is that what we're talking about? Jacuzzi J motors. Let's see what's about these. Let's see what's so cool. N52H arc magnets, copper wire. Yes, we expect copper wire. Bearings, Japanese NMB 9x4x4, so 9mm motors. 20 gauge wire. 7075 aluminum. I'm cool with that. Does it say what the shaft is made of? Nippon steel, silicone steel. That's cool. Silicone steel. That would be cool. Yeah. I mean, they look good. How much are they? $16. That's actually like super cheap for a pretty decent looking spec motor. But if you have stuff drop, then it's not that good. But the price, $16 US for the 2569 kV anyway. That is super duper cheap for a motor with 7075 aluminum and a 9mm bearing. I mean, the shaft could be titanium. That'd be cool, but it sounds like it's a steel shaft, so it'll be fine. Zombie Man, thanks for your flashing ELRS video. It was a big help this last weekend. Yeah, a bunch of people in Discord I have helped flash ELRS, so I thought it's probably about time to do a flashing video on ELRS so I can just point them in that direction and them not have to sit through me explain it to them and everyone else in the Discord watch me explain it to them 30,000 times. Because that first flash can be a real booger. If you get to the first flash, you're normally okay. That first flash can be real tough. So I'm glad it helped you out. Caleb, hey, easy bro, Bacon Ninja. There's at least 500K of us. Yes, in Montana. Okay. Yeah, the Juicy J motors, dude. That is interesting. I am almost tempted to get a set just to see if they're any good for that price, because that is rivaling the price of like Emax Eco II, and these are 7075. And I didn't catch if they're Unibel or not. Let me look at the picture. They look to be Unibel, and they have a dude on them in a jacuzzi, and it says Jacuzzi J on the side. So how can you lose when there's literally an engraved jacuzzi dude on the side of your motor? Seriously. Mike Bergman, Silicorn steel is the best. Yes. Is Silicorn steel similar to candy corn steel? Is that they come from the same place, slightly different variants? Yeah. Does the steel taste like candy corn? Because if it does, I would buy that motor. I love candy corn. Definitely love candy corn. I'm one of those weirdos that likes the pumpkins. Is anybody out there like the candy corn pumpkins at Halloween time? I will take the pumpkins over candy corn any day of the week. And the chocolate pumpkins. Oh, yes. Absolutely. 8-bit tiny whip motors. Fell in love with the iGao motors. Yes, the iGao motors are good. I am trying the T-Motor Unibel 0802s right now. I think I got the 22,000 kV. They've been okay. They've been all right. I have the I was really disappointed because I have a bunch of stuff out in front of me. I have the RC Empower 1002s. These nice, I can't see it because it's out of focus. These nice teal and pink RC Empower 1002s that I had for my my snowflake build. But unfortunately, nobody's crazy enough to build a 65mm, or there's 4 65mm whoops, but they're 35mm props with a 1.5mm shaft hole. So I couldn't use them. If anybody out there that owns a prop manufacturer wants to make 35mm props, 3-blade props with a 1.5mm shaft hole, let me know, because I will totally test them out for you. Totally. The flying grip. The pumpkins are amazing. You damn right they're amazing. They're good. They're way better than candy corn. The pumpkins are where it is at. Mike Bergman agrees. Candy corn pumpkins are really good. He didn't say that's where they're at, but that's what I'm saying. Mike Bergman thinks they're just good, but I'm going to embellish on his just good into they're amazing, because I'm on this end of the stream, so I can do that. Brandon Beans, FAA sponsored drone cops are officially real, and I just had my first introduction and it wasn't super fun. That kind of introduction is never fun, no matter how real they are. Those introductions are never ever good. Never. I've never experienced one that is positive. Stovall FPV. Give those Moon Travelers a try. What are Moon Travelers, Stovall? Is that something else from Jacuzzi J? Tell me it is, because this dude seems awesome. Seems awesome. Hornet. I don't want to spam. You're not spamming, Hornet. I literally just saw this for the first time, so I probably missed it if you said it earlier. I think you'd really like to check out the Rotor Village 5 to 5.5 inch Mopax frame. It fits HDZero 1 watt perfectly. Much more surface area with 5.5 props. Yeah, and I have been thinking about 5.5. I have really been thinking about doing an AOS 5.5. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Mopax. Mopax. RVS Mopax. This is the standard version. No, that is what you're talking about. Let me show this. Let me show it. Is this what you're talking about? The RVS Mopax? Comes in a 5.5 inch. It says it has a plus and a max. I'm guessing the standard is 5 and the plus is 5.5 and the max is, I don't know, some ridiculous size. I suspect. It's a pretty simple frame design. I mean, flat bottom plate, a few hole cutouts. The arm design, I get what they're going for. Is there a bottom shot of this thing? Is there a bottom shot on here? Show me your bottom, drone. Show me your bottom. Come on. Where is your bottom at? I'm going to do this picture-in-picture thing. I'm going to try this picture-in-picture out. I haven't used it all stream. I can't find a bottom picture of this drone. I want to see what the arm interlock looks like down there. Is this the bottom? Yes. Yes? I think so. No, that's not the bottom. Show me your bottom. All it has is top pictures. Anyway, I can't see the arm interlock. I'd be interested to see what that looks like, because where I have some slight concerns is in places like, so this piece of carbon apparently goes across, right? So this looks like it's a shared arm. If it's not, it ends at the standoff. But what I don't see is a third plate, right? So I see the bottom plate right here where my mouse is. You can see the bottom plate with all the holes. And I see these. But unless these are like some kind of shared arm where the carbon doesn't stop under the bottom, I would expect to see a third plate to retain these and keep them from vibrating. I mean, but I don't. But I would try it out if I could get my hands on one. $78. I don't know. I don't know if I could try it out for $78 right now. But I'll definitely check it out if it comes my way. That's for sure. Oh, okay. Stovall. Tiny Whoop Moon Travelers 32,000 kV. Okay. I see what you're saying. Tiny Whoop makes good stuff, dude. They know what they're doing. I never am able to order stuff from the smaller stores that aren't mainstream because I am too quick to order things. Someday, though. Someday. Whew, man. I'm trying to catch up with all this stuff. Let's see. Okay, Hornet. So the replacement part shows the exploded view. Replacement parts. I have to check out the. I'll look at. Oh no, I see it down here. Okay, there is a plate down there. You just can't see it. Okay, and there's a squash block. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. It looks like it'd be really solid then, with the keyway and the third plate. It looks like it'd be really solid. I would check it out. Hey, E-Drone, how's it going? I just saw you jump in. Cool, man. Thank you for coming out. You gave me this idea to stream. E-Drone actually told me after he was the first live stream I was a guest on in FPV. And afterwards, he asked me if I was ever going to do it. And I said, I'm not sure because everybody else does live streams. And he said, well, you should do it anyway because everybody wants to see you do a live stream just for you because that's why he does it. And I'm like, you know what? You have a point, man. I'm going to do that someday. And today is that day. So thank you, E-Drone, for that kind of inspiration. The Patreons unlocked it, but E-Drone inspired it. E-Drone definitely inspired it. Thomas Moore, it's $78 Canadian, so about $5 USD. I didn't notice that it's Canadian. I don't think the exchange rate works like that, buddy. What is that? $78 Canadian to American. What would it be, like $50 American? That seems a little more feasible. I'm glad it's cheaper for me. Maybe not for long though. The exchange rate might get back to. It might be changing with the way the economy goes. So The flying grip. Anyone have a lead on panel mount XT30s? Maybe my Google Foo is out of tune. I don't. I do not. I have not been able to find any either. So I'm sure someone out there knows. If you know where some are, hit up the flying grip. Definitely hit up the flying grip. Joby Man, 78 Canadian pesos. Yes, 78 Canadian pesos. I think the peso exchange rate actually is even different now. So the peso exchange rate used to be, I used to be able to like go into Mexico and have a good vacation and not take a lot of money and it'd be fine. And it's not that way anymore. It's not that way anymore. It's not as good as it used to be. So not that I've ever been to Mexico, but again, a beautiful place that I probably will never visit because I like to leave my home never. Gardo Rotor, you're a natural at this. Thank you very much, Gardo Rotor. I'm just sitting here talking, and it's a lot of fun. I actually was pretty nervous about this at first, just because I wasn't sure that anyone was going to show up and there would be no conversations and I would totally miss everything. But it has been a whole lot of fun. I enjoy interacting with you guys like this because it feels like we're hanging out in a fly spot and like just chilling, talking about drones and other random crap, which is totally awesome. I never get to do this. There's one other pilot where I live, and the dude is awesome, but he always works, so we never get to fly. And yeah, this is my community interaction time, making videos for you guys and doing this kind of stuff. So it's pretty awesome. I really am enjoying it. E-Drone, thank you for the $5 super chat. E-Drone, first super chat maybe. It's not the first one, but it all goes toward the first one because it is my first live stream. So I appreciate you, E-Drone, very much. You've always been super supportive. Very, very supportive. And by the way, I saw your video release about was it the Mavic 3, was it the Mini 3 accessories, the must-have accessories. So if you guys are if you're into camera drones and you're into FPV drones, E-Drone is a great person to check out because he covers a lot of both of them. So he's definitely playing both sides of that field and can get you content in both directions, which is pretty unique because I think a lot of FPV pilots just make content about FPV drones. So E-Drone's definitely playing that part of the field if you're interested. FPV Trucker, thank you for the $5 super chat. Good luck on your journey. I appreciate you, FPV Trucker. I appreciate you very much. So based on your username, are you a trucker that also does FPV? Because that would be a super awesome combination because you would get to drive all kinds of places, assuming you're not like a short haul trucker, and you could take drones with you. And, you have to take mandatory breaks, don't you? So do you ever like stop and just rip a rest area? Because that'd be pretty awesome. It'd be a pretty awesome way to get some time in. John Cuppy, thank you for a $5 super chat. Congrats on the successful first live. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very, very much. Again, John Cuppy, super supportive guy. And what was it John Cuppy did the other day? It wasn't the other day. It was a while back, but it was surprising. If you guys remember that, was it the Arctic cyclone that we had? Was it about a month ago where it got super, super, super cold? And John Cuppy went and flew a tiny whoop in it outside. And what do you get, like 30 seconds out of that battery, John? I think you did. MFR FPV Rampage. Yes, Rampage. I want to go to Rampage someday. I really do. When my son's older, I might actually be able to justify doing it, taking him. Right now, that's like where's that, North Carolina? Let's see real quick. Let's go see. Let's go to Google Maps. Let's go see how long of a drive it is to Rampage. For me, a long, long drive. I guarantee it. I'm going the long way to Google Maps. Don't make fun of the way I go to Google Maps. I know it's terrible. Is South Carolina? North Carolina. I can't remember. It's one of the Carolinas, right? Okay, so I could fly in 4 hours and 15 minutes, or I could drive 19 hours and 26 minutes, or I could take an easier way that bypasses Dallas and drive 20 hours and 23 minutes. Thus, I'm not going to Rampage because I don't fly. I flew for work a few times, and I really, really dislike flying. Really, 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 really dislike flying. It's not so much the plane. I'm fine with the plane. I love to fly. Obviously, I fly FPV. What I don't like is the whole airport experience and people touching me. Because people touch you, and I do not like to be touched. I am not a touchy person. I really, really, really don't like being touched. There are literally like 4 people in the entire world that I'm comfortable being touched by. Fun fact about bacon: I have touchophobia. Joey Man, -20 here today. Had a foot of snow 2 days ago. Is that -20 Celsius though, or -20 Fahrenheit? I bet it's Celsius because it's so low. So what is -20 Celsius? Because Celsius, it starts at 32 degrees is 0, so it's probably pretty close to 0 Fahrenheit, I'd imagine. Oh, did I miss one from FPV Trucker? I've flown in over 35 states. FPV Trucker says, yeah, see, that'd be perfect. That would be awesome. You get to like drive and then rip FPV packs in all kinds of places. I don't know if I ever asked Murders what he does and if he's still here. I haven't seen him in a minute. What he does for work, but he seems to travel a lot, and he gets to fly some really cool places. And every time I travel for work, so I do travel occasionally for work, I don't get to fly. My drone stays in the bag, so I just stopped bringing it because every time I go anywhere, it's every waking minute of me being there is working, and I can't ever get away. E-Drone, I believe there's a new firmware update for the Mini 11 that addresses the freeze-ups. Flying grip, maybe give that a try. If you didn't see that flying grip, definitely give it a try. I've heard the same thing, the GoPro 11 Mini and the freeze-up problem. I think that's probably, if you remember when the GoPro 11 Mini released, they delayed it a little bit, and I think that might have been some of the problems they had, and they probably thought they had it worked out, and they didn't. So I thought about getting an 11 Mini and wound up with another Bones. So I really like the Bones. I really, really do. I haven't ever totally destroyed one. I blew up the voltage regulator in one, being stupid, but I haven't like blown one apart. So John Cuppy, you're right. The airport experience is horrible, and it's probably gotten worse since I last flew in 2018 pre-pandemic. Yeah, I flew pre-pandemic too. It was the last time I flew was probably 2019, and I flew to Houston a few times for work. I had a special project I had to do alone. So they put me on an airplane by myself, which I know I'm an adult male and that should be fine, but I did not like no. And I was on that airplane and went to Houston by myself with no money and no car. And yeah, never been before. It was a good time. A good time in a really, really terrible way. Victor Fly, Murders is military. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense why he travels so much. It's a really good opportunity to be able to like move around and do cool stuff. I mean, I'm sure all of you know I fly my spot entirely too often, and I guarantee you I have looked. Everybody thinks I never look for spots, but I look for spots. I promise you I do. And everyone I go to is either fenced off private property, it is too close to the airport, it's in a zero grid that I can't fly, or there's people everywhere and I can't fly it because I need more people to help me watch out than one when I'm in a new spot. And one person in a new spot with me is not enough to make me feel safe about being in a new spot. And if I had a group, if there were like 5 pilots that we could go as a group and find new spots and try them, I would totally be down for that. It just doesn't exist here. It doesn't. And I can't drive more than about 15 minutes or else I won't get any time to fly because I only normally get about an hour and a half to be gone. If it's a 30-minute drive, it's shot, dude. I can't do it if it's a 30-minute drive. And that's about where all the good spots are. So it's darts. Houston, the armpit of the country. That's no lie, man. But at least with Houston, you're close to the coast. Like if you drive a little further south and a little further east and you go to like Corpus, it's hot in Corpus. Corpus Christi, if you don't know where that is in Texas, it's right on the coast of the Gulf. It's hot, but since it's always windy, it's actually really nice. You get that sea air. It's really nice. I don't know that I'd want to live there because I bet that sea air does some terrible things to cars and stuff. But it always feels great in Corpus Christi. It really does. Caleb, you got to go, man. All right. Thank you for being here. And we'll let Bubby know he stole his name. He stole your name. It was yours first, right? I'll write him and personally let him know because I'm sure he has no idea who I am. But thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. The flying grip. I'd love the opinion of y'all on why GoPro has a difference in function between the 10 Bones and the 11 Mini. Why would they remove the presets and limit modes? They clearly didn't on the Bones. Same cams. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. Why they would, I mean, basically the guts are the same. The 11 added some other features, but there wouldn't be any reason I could see for removing them other than maybe there's a different size flash chip in there and they couldn't fit all that stuff, so they didn't save memory addresses for it. I don't know. Maybe that's how they made some of the features work, is by utilizing that flash for something else. And they needed to save it, but I can't imagine the things they took away were that big. So I don't know why they would do that. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So, yeah. John Cuppy, have you considered starting a local Facebook group? When I moved to my area, I felt like I was the only one in FPV. We've managed now to get a group of 5 of us. Yep. So there is one. There's an existing Facebook group. Sorry. There's about 30 people in it. None of them ever fly. That's the problem. None of them ever actually go flying. We've had a couple of meetups, and the only place that we really meet up is at the AMA airfield, which is okay. It's just flat grass, so it's not super interesting, although neither is where I normally fly. But they're just not super active pilots, really. They're just not as into it as much as I am. And we've had some differences. A couple of the guys just really didn't like me very much. So it's hard to hang out there because they just don't like me. I don't know what I did. They just don't like me. Thomas Moore, enjoy the rest of the stream, y'all. I'm heading out as well. Keep up the good work, Bacon. Thanks for stopping by, Thomas. I really appreciate it. I always appreciate your comments too, man. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, John, it is a shame. I would love for it to have worked out and they'd be more active. In fact, I even started a multi-GP chapter here in the hopes that I could start coordinating races, because those guys were mostly racers prior, and they had been active about 5 years ago. But everybody lost the will and the motivation and the money. So they weren't really gonna ever get up in the air. They kind of converted to doing some wing stuff, but that was pretty few and far between too. So yeah. Matt Sinderson, my local Facebook FPV group seems to be a bit sketch. That can happen too, but I will say that there's a lot of things about FPV that are kind of sketchy. We're a kind of sketchy group of weirdos sometimes. A little bit. Bobby Bags, I'm going to have to watch the stream tomorrow. Thanks for this, Bacon. You're great for our hobby, buddy. Cheers. Thank you very much, Bobby Bags. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much for being here. And everyone who is here for this first live stream, I appreciate you so much, because it really has there's way more people here talking way more than I expected, and I never could have imagined that so many of you would make this so special for me. So thank you very much. Yeah. Zombie Man, did you see the Rotor Riot third-person view video? I haven't. I honestly, it's going to sound terrible. Well, maybe it's not. I think some of you are going to jive with it. I haven't watched the Rotor Riot video in about 6 months. I really just haven't. I think the last time I watched Rotor Riot was when they were showing off the. Well, it's probably after this, but mostly when they were showing off the O3 system. I guess that was the last time I really watched it, is when they first started showing some of the first stuff about the O3 system. And I haven't really watched it much since then. It just feels too commercial, and that's nothing against the guys that are on it. That's their job. Like, it pays their bills, and the whole way it works is that they convert viewers into buyers, and that's just the jive. It's just not mine. So I don't watch it that often unless they're doing something really interesting. Now, I will watch their community spotlight videos, but I think I've watched those since then, so I'll take that one. I watch their community spotlight videos because I like to see other pilots out there doing cool stuff, and I look for people I know on those videos. And there, in fact, has been some people I know on those videos, which is pretty cool to see. But their regular stuff I normally just let sit in my subscriptions list, usually. The Flying Grip, fantastic entertainment. I butchered the word. Fantastic entertainment tonight, Bacon. Enjoyed having you on my ear while I cooked. What did you cook? What do you cook and not share with us? That's what I want to know. Hopefully it wasn't anything super fancy, because then we'll be upset. It starts. Don't forget to hit the like on your way out. Yes, I'd appreciate that. I actually hadn't thought about that this entire time. I'm just having too much fun. And if you like it, or if you like the stream or not, this has been very enjoyable for me. So And we're probably going to go for like another 15 minutes. If anybody out there is wondering, I hadn't really set an end time, but we'll be coming up on 2 hours in the next 20 minutes or so. So we'll start wrapping up in probably the next 15, just so everybody knows. Zombie Man, they have some good shows. I think they're bringing people into the hobby. They absolutely are. You're totally right. They are bringing people into the hobby. And when I first started out in FPV, some of my first influential videos were Rotor Riot. Some of them were LaDrib specifically. I watched a lot of Drib's channel. I found Bot Grinder pretty early on, and he inspired me in a whole different way. That dude is awesome, not only as a pilot but as a person. Like, I think he's just a super cool human being. So between seeing those people, I saw Cricket, who is now part of Rotor Riot, but at the time I don't think he had done a lot with Rotor Riot. Cricket really excited me to watch. A lot of people up front, but Rotor Riot was one of them that I found, and it was just really, really cool. Now, having been on this side of stuff, most of the things they show, I mean, when it comes to new products, I've already watched something from someone else probably about it. But the stuff that they do that's kind of just one-off and silly is a little more interesting to me. I kind of forget they're in my subscriptions list and forget to click on them most of the time. So, but I'll check out that third PV or 3 PV if you say it's so good. Maybe worth checking out if you think it is. Oh, Stovall, are you committed to wear the bacon suit if we get to 50 Patreons? Yes, I am absolutely committed to wearing the bacon suit, but I'll tell you one thing. I am not sure if I'm going to wear the bacon suit for a video or if I wear the bacon suit for a live stream. But when we get to 50 Patreons, I will wear the bacon suit for one of the two things, and I may let the patrons decide if it's for just a regular video that's going to be posted for all eternity, and the person who comes, it'll probably be like a tutorial video where I'm teaching something, but I'm just literally dressed in a bacon suit and no one will know why. I can make that happen, or I can do it as a live stream and do the entire stream in a bacon suit. But I've already picked out a bacon suit for said thing because you people seem to surprise me when it comes to meeting goals. So I'm not gonna just assume it won't happen anymore because I've done that before, and thus far I have been pleasantly surprised by everyone there. Yeah. Torpedo Law, will you use remote ID and why or why not? I can tell you, Torpedo Law, that I will own a remote ID module. I absolutely will own a remote ID module. It will be the smallest, simplest one available for the least amount of money. Whatever that winds up being. We haven't seen them yet, but I will own one. It will be the cheapest, smallest, simplest thing. It won't be a crazy implementation of remote ID. Whether I use it or not on the quad is going to depend on a lot of things and situations. I'll put it that way. So depending on what I'm doing, probably. We're going to have to comply with it one way or another, and I'd rather at least own the module and have the thing to say I own the module than not have one at all. Just in case. I'm not going to go run out and tell everybody they have to buy one or they're doing something bad if they don't use it. To each their own, but I will own one, probably. Carbon Cage FPV. Rotor Riot won't spotlight me due to my huge allegiance to the Bot Grinder. Aw. Bot Grinder used to do Rotor Riot videos too, didn't he? I remember seeing Bot in a few things for a while there, but I can understand why there's probably some, I'm not going to say personality differences because I think those people would probably get along just fine. I'll say there was probably some different directional differences there. And Bot Grinder is his own person and he's an amazing human being and his ideas are definitely unique to him. So it's cool that he's kind of driving his own bus right now because he's doing some cool stuff. And I'm glad he is, instead of attaching to another organization. So, eDrone, thank you very much. Congratulations on your first stream. Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. I do so much. Streets FPV, Vacant Ninja. Do you know any frames that house O3 around the 50-ish range? I usually fly Source 1, but I'm not into buying $90 frames. Around the $50-ish range. Ooh, yes, I think so. Let me see what I can find. Let's look real quick. Let's look, everybody. If anybody has an immediate thought as to what that is, here's what I'm thinking of right now. The SpeedyBee. I think the SpeedyBee is going to be too expensive, though. SpeedyBee is too expensive. Yes, I go to the things weirdly. I go to Google first, like a total noob. I do it all day at work, and I'm an IT guy. I know. Let's see. Let's see. The Master 5 is 62, and it's a very interesting frame, the Master 5. I know it's a little over your $50 price point, but it's under the $90 price point. Let me see if this is the HD, though. I want to say it is. Does it say? If it's HD, it just says choose color, but it doesn't have a. Well, it has a color drop down. It doesn't say that's the HD. I wonder if it isn't the HD. Oh, no, that is the HD with the link, though. Or does that say with link coaxial cable? Okay, so the HD 76, that's too much, out of the price range. Yep. Dano says SpeedyBee is like 60 plus. So you're right. Streets. I looked at SpeedyBee. It looks like it's, I'm going to say, a pain to build. Yeah, it may be. Matt Sanderson, 250 can fit in O3 and it's $60, but probably not what you're looking for. Yeah, the 250 would probably be like a a real specific build. Let's see. Let's go with, I hit the wrong button. Frames by size. Let's go to 5-inch frames. I'm just going to cruise through them and try to refresh my memory about what may or may not hold an O3 in a 5-inch. The Volador is an interesting frame. The Volador here, I know it's coming soon here. The Dead Cat's in stock. Dead Cat would keep your stuff out of, it's just super heavy. I would love to try the Flyfish. I think Johnny 5 tried it, but it is just heavy. This right here, that's the UL5 V2, the O3, $74. AOS 503 would be really great, but again, $74. The Armatan Beaver is a terrific frame, but it's expensive, but it has a lifetime warranty. So at least you get more for your money out of that one. Moist FPV, you doing the new perfect drone build soon? I don't know if I'll call it soon, but it's coming. It's definitely coming. I'm going to, I'm working on testing more frames before I call it. I want to fly a few more things before I totally nail down what I'm going to fly for 2023. And it's probably going to take me a couple more months to be able to build those things. Man, there's just not a lot in stock. There's just not a lot in stock. The Rooster. I don't want to recommend an iFlight frame either. Everything's so expensive, man. Everything is so expensive. Hyperlight Glide 5. I don't know if that'll hold an O3 though. That's a good frame, but I don't know if it'll hold the O3. Yeah, that's what Apache Smoke says. The Glide is like $50. It's a very good frame. I just don't know if it has a 25 by 25 mounting, because that's what it is in the O3 system. And if you are considering how to mount the O3 system, really the best way is double stick tape, to be honest with you. I just don't know if you can get it between the standoffs here. I mean, you probably could. There's probably enough room between the standoffs. I'd have to measure. But the Glide would be a great frame if you could get that in between the standoffs, because it's a great price. It's a little bit more expensive than the Source One, but it's worth the extra bucks. Definitely worth some dollars. HDLRC Spectre X5. Yeah, that one would be pretty good. Gep RC has a clearance frame. Is it probably a Mark IV though? Not a Mark V. I like the Mark V, but it had a bunch of delamination issues in the Mark V. I love the frame when it's not delaminated. It's great. Dano FPV, there's a huge gap in frame prices from 30 and then 63 and then almost 70. Yeah, there's a huge gap. That's why I think if you could get it into a Glide, and I'd have to check with some people to see if they've crammed an O3 in a Glide at the $49.99 price point, it's a pretty good deal, because that is a very good frame. It's got good characteristics. It's got a good design. It's a good frame. I just don't know if you get the O3 in there. It starts says he loves his AOS 5 V2 frame till it crashed and broke 2 arms. Yeah, the V1 is much more robust but uglier. Yeah. And the O3 I think uses the same design as the V2, just with different camera plates. Hornet, he can tell us exactly how large the Glide top and bottom plates. Okay. I can tell you exactly how large is the Glide top and bottom plates. Yeah, so we need the height and the distance from the standoffs. Let me show you what I'm talking about again. Let me show you. So we need the height in the rear bay for sure, like the height back here, and then the distance between these two standoffs on the inside to see if we could fit an O3 in it. I'm pretty sure the width would be fine, because I'm assuming that's a 20 by 20 mounting pattern there. So it'd probably come out right to the edges, but I think it's going to have a tight squeeze between these two standoffs. Probably. Streets FPV, yes, that was Pyrodrone. That's kind of my go-to for Pyrodrone. If they're out of stock on it, I'll go look somewhere else. But I normally try Pyrodrone. Torpedo long. My car smelled like bacon after I drove home last night. Then I discovered I'd accidentally left my porking brake. Oh my goodness. That caught me off guard. I had to read it twice to determine that it said porking brake. By the way, that was very good. You snuck that one right in there. Right in there. Roger. I'm waiting on my AOS 3.5 building a 6S HDZero and AM32 Skystars stack. Yeah, if I wasn't running the Siren F3, the Quadmula, I would probably run the AOS 3.5. And the 6S build on 3.5 inch, ooh man, terrific place to be. And I will definitely try an AM32 for sure. Moist, you ever consider adding a section to the Discord for FPV wings and planes? If there are people that want to do it, I will absolutely add it. I just didn't know there was interest. If there's interest in it, I will absolutely add one. Space is the same. Okay, so Hornet says the glide top plate is 35 millimeters. Space is the same, 30.75-ish. Let's see if I can find the DJI O3, the specs on it for size. I'm not gonna find that. Hold on. Let me just type DJI. No way is that search gonna work. Okay. It'll be out of stock. You watch. Nope. O3. Come on. All I want is the air units. No, it's in stock. Okay. Let's see if we have measurements. The camera. How's it? Okay. Camera transmission module. 32.5 by 30.5 by 14. So it looks like it will fit in a glide. So, and Hornet says he has a print of the O3. he didn't know where it is, but he has one. Based on what I'm seeing here, it will fit. You probably won't have a lot of room between the standoffs to put anything else, but it should fit in the glide. And that's about a $49 price point. And it's a very good thing. Bob Ruge knows how to make a good frame. So I would snap that up if you're looking at the $50 price point. Dano says, do not order from CNC Madness. Their carbon fiber is weak. I have heard that several times. You're not the only one, Dano. I think iFlight's having them cut somewhere else. If you buy because iFlight is producing them now, I believe, since they are doing that build as a bind and fly. So if you can find those, I think they're much better than the CNC Madness ones. But 3D Create. Hey, Bacon, have you seen the YRZ freshman frame at Thoughts? I have not. YRZ fresh on FPV from. I don't know why I have to say it when I look up, but I do. I have to say it. Okay, let's see. Freshman, Crafted Quads. Crafted Quads is a cool dude. I started talking to Crafted Quads before I knew he made stuff. Let's see. Let's see what it is here. All right. Okay. I get that's cool. A little bit of impact cushion. These are probably designed to break. These little things in the front when you have a hard impact designed to break and be absorbed by this TPU. I like TPU feet that have this snap-in design and like are not overlapping the top of the arm. I like that a lot. I like that it uses TPU for the camera mounts. Very flexible. That would be good for the DJI system too. It looks like it looks like it only has 3 standoffs, so similar to what they do with the Moxie, to Bubby's Moxie. You don't run a 4th standoff here. I don't think that's a super impactful resonance problem. I think it does pretty well, especially if you have a good stiff top plate. It looks like it'd be pretty roomy. Looks like it'd make for a good build. It's probably a little narrow. And you'd want to run. I think if I did this, I'd run a 20 by 20 stack in it. But it looks cool. Looks cool frame. How much does it cost? How much do she cost? That's the question. $69.99. Yeah, I'd try it. I mean, I don't know if it's anything specifically special for $69.99. That's a little bit cheaper than most of the premium frames out there. So it looks like a totally solid option, and it probably is a pretty easy build given it doesn't have that forced standoff. So AJ, when is your next live stream? I don't know yet, AJ. I don't imagine I can do them every week. I don't know. If I do a live stream every week, and maybe you guys can help me figure this out. If I do a live stream every week, that means I probably will only release one video a week, one regular video a week on the weekends, instead of releasing a Wednesday and a Saturday video. And I'm totally down for that if that's what people would prefer, because I have really enjoyed this, and I think it's a whole lot of fun to just poke at stuff and talk. So yeah, let me know, leave comments, or head over to the Discord and let me know what you think. If you'd rather have live streams every week and then we just get one regular Bacon Ninja video a week, because I'd totally be down for that. If not, I'll probably do them like every other week. I'll probably start out trying them every other week, and then maybe once a month if it doesn't work out. But I would look for it, if not next Wednesday, the Wednesday after, probably. Dano FPV, zip tie that air unit. Lols. Yeah, you can zip tie it. You totally can zip tie it. I have actually not had any problems just using a really good double-sided tape and making sure that it's good, clean carbon. And no, not carbon that I licked. I don't lick that part of the carbon. And a good, clean where the sticker is on the DJI unit. I've not had any trouble at all with my unit moving. Not even a little bit. Even in heat. Spagoose FPV. Have to get out of here. Great first stream. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Dano, literally sold out across the board. What's sold out across the board, Dano? I must have missed what you were talking about. It starts. The motor protection is great. Yeah, that's a cool motor protecting. I haven't seen that before with the cutout. I presume if you didn't want to run TPU and you just ran the carbon, you'd probably break them pretty often, and then that might kind of flail around out there. So the carbon's kind of mandatory on that, but I think most people would run, or not the carbon. The TPU is probably mandatory. So I'd recommend running the TPU, but if you have the TPU in there, it should hold up really well. Moist FPV, you can do bi-weekly. Yeah, if I do not replace the Wednesday videos with streams, I will do them bi-weekly and maybe do that. So 3D Create Crafted Quad spent 2 years designing the freshman specifically for bashing. I can see that. I mean, it looks really good. It's minimalistic too. Most bashers are super, super overdone. Like my go-to basher right now, if I had to just order one, would be it'd be the bot grinder. What it was his frame that he did with, oh my god, I can't remember the name of it, but that thing looks like it could take a huge beating. And if Crafted Quad's built this to take a beating too, I mean, I trust Crafted Quads. He knows what he's talking about. It looks a lot more minimalistic than most of the bashers I've seen. They normally have really wide arms and stuff, but if he says it can do it, I'd send it and see what happens. 3D Create. We need Bacon's Guide to Perfectly Cooked Bacon. Maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll sneak that in somewhere. My guide to perfectly cooked bacon is go to a store, buy the bacon pre-made, and then put it in the microwave. It's not perfectly cooked. The Flying Grip Demi-Bot. Yes, it is the Demi-Bot. That's what I was talking about. Bot Grinder's pretty awesome basher frame. It's just heavy. For my style of flying, it's not really a good option. But he didn't build it for my style of flying. He built it for his. So definitely. Jobby Man, what do you think of the toroidal prop hype? I think it's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype in it. I've watched a lot of videos. I would try them if they're made out of polycarbonate just to see what they do. But I have not printed any. Someone in my Discord was actually printing some, and they had some success. They didn't really, honestly, I don't think they noticed much difference in the flight characteristic other than they just explode because they're printed. But I think if you did them out of polycarbonate, you'd probably have a better time with the sound. Because the printing has so many ridges, that's where a lot of the noise is coming from. But in polycarbonate, it'll be smooth. So I think the sound would make a difference. Stovall FPV, great first stream. 2 hours flew by. It has. I keep thinking, oh no, I need to end the stream. So have a great week, buddy. You too. MFR FPV, 175 grams. Yeah, the Demi-Bot's heavy. My Siren F5 split is 109. I believe 109 grams. So much, much, much lighter, but made for a different thing. Moist FPV. My air unit is screwed in 25 by 25, and the camera is held down on the bottom by double-sided sticky tape, and the top is just pressed down by the top plate, and I don't see any shaking. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen any shaking in my camera, no matter how I've had it mounted. I have had the twitch when I go to stabilize it, but I almost never stabilize my footage anyway, so it doesn't bother me that much. But I luckily have not had any of the cameras that you have to take apart and tighten. So 3D Create Freshman is 136 gram versus Demibot 165. Yeah, the Freshman looks like way more minimalistic than the Demibot. I'd have to fly it. I would totally be down to fly it if anybody ever wants to send me anything. I'm totally down to try almost everything. So like I like experimentation. I'd be down to try it. Z Monster knows what I'm talking about. Z Monster, you weren't here earlier. I showed this quad. This is the Snowflake. Just to remind you, the Z Monster made that. Bacon in the oven is better than bacon in a pan. 6 to 5. Yes, absolutely it is. If you have a proper pan or a oven pan to do it in, where you don't smoke your entire house out, it is much better. So, Jobby man, I have to go. Raid night. Yep. Have fun. Thank you all very much. In fact, it's probably going to be time for me to call it quits too, because this has been a lot of fun, but it has been 2 hours, and my kids are ready to go to sleep, and they're waiting to tell me good night. So, thank you all very much for being part of this stream. I appreciate it greatly. This is my first one, and it's been terrific. And yeah, I'm super surprised how many people showed up and all the love that you have poured out. Really appreciate it, and look forward to doing it again. I will probably schedule the next one for 2 weeks from now, a Wednesday 2 weeks from now. And I may try to fit one in on a Saturday, not this Saturday, but another Saturday for everyone overseas, that they can get in at a reasonable time, because some people did it anyway at 2 o'clock in the morning, which is just crazy, but I appreciate them being here very much. So thank you all. My wife says bacon on the griddle, by the way, for anyone wondering. She does make the bacon on the griddle, which is kind of a mix between what you get in the oven and a pan. But thank you all very much. And until next time, stay greasy. And I'll catch you later.